Hi guys, welcome to this week's Gold Lap Guide. This time we take on the iconic Fuji International Speedway with the new to the game Toyota GT1 from 1999 in the latest online lap time challenge. I've currently got a gold time, so I'll show you what I did to achieve that. Now this is one of my favourite circuits and this car is really well suited to this challenge, but make sure you stick around to the end. I'm sure you pick up a few helpful tips. So starting the lap, you can use all the revs in this car, absolutely no problem at all. Braking point for turn 1, 150 marker. I'm actually going to brake down to first gear. Now with the gear shifts, I'm not going to just slam them down to first, I'm going to delay the last gear shift. Just give it a try if you're on manual gears. Just see what you think. I find that last gear shift, if you do it at low revs, actually helps keep the car more stable. I'll give you an example of what I mean with this corner. So we're hard on the brakes, going to get down to first gear, but watch the gear shifts. 4th, 3rd, 2nd, delay the last gear shift till the revs drop a little bit. First now. Get to the apex, back up to 2nd again, and being as aggressive as you dare on the power. Stay off that AstroTurf on the left hand side, you'll spin the car if you end up on that. Up to the next corner. Now there's many ways of doing this corner, this is the way I like to do it. Somewhere roughly 75 to 80 metres, so just after the 100 board on the right hand side, I'm going to start to apply the brakes. But it's only going to be sort of a 75-80% brake to start off with, and then a quick trail off. And we're going to take this corner in 2nd gear. So 75-80% brakes, quick trail off, down to 2nd, take as much of this curb as you can, not too much will invalidate the lap. You use all this curb on the right hand side. I'll show you from behind the car how much you can get away with. Coming through this corner, open it up, take a bit more curb than I do, you can get away with a bit more than that. But look how close you can get to the outside here. You can just pretty much straddle this red sausage on the right hand side. As long as you keep 2 tyres on the red and white curbing on the left hand side just there, should be absolutely fine for track limits. Now rolling into the next section, there's many ways you can do this. I'll show you the way I like to do it. I like to do it as a double apex, it's such a long corner. So apex 1 is roughly around where this bit of tarmac is on the right hand side, where it just cuts the grass into there. I'm going to stay in 3rd gear, I'm just going to come off the throttle, I'm just going to balance the throttle through this corner. Now you don't want to go too far to the left, so come out to about the middle of the circuit, use that throttle on, off, however you need it. 2nd apex, again, is where this next bit of tarmac cuts through this grass. That's apex 2. I'm going to try and get tight to that one, and hopefully it should set up the next corner. So the objective is to try and set up the very next corner. So through this corner, you don't want to go too far to the left. Try and keep it somewhere around the middle of the track to the right. Braking point for this next corner, roughly where the end of the red and white curbing on the left hand side finishes. That's going to be my braking point. I'm going to go down to 1st gear. Now again, I'm going to delay the last gear shift down to 1st until the revs have come down a little bit. Try and keep the car a bit more stable. So hard on the brakes, down to 1st gear. Again, I'm going to delay that last gear shift till the revs drop a little bit more. So down to 2nd, revs have dropped, down to 1st, take plenty of curb, back to 2nd again. Get on the throttle as early as you possibly can, try and maximise this exit. I could use a bit more circuit on the right hand side there. Use a bit more than I do if you can. Bit of time to be had there. Long go straight, here we go. And I'm going to try and keep tight to the right hand side to set this next corner up. Now the next braking point I like to use is either the Dunlop bridge or the shadow on the ground. Now I don't normally use shadows, but it's a time trial. It doesn't really move. You can use it, no problem at all. We're going to brake down to 1st gear. Now this last section is a little bit tricky and I lose all my time for this last section, so I need to get better at this. So hard on the brakes, again, delay the last gear shift down to 1st. Take plenty of curb on the inside there, don't take too much, you'll invalidate your lap. Back to 2nd again. Take plenty of curb on the inside of that. Back on the throttle as early as you can. Straight line that curb just there. Braking point for the next corner. There's like a pole, I think it's got a megaphone on top of it possibly. I like to use that as a braking marker. Just as that goes off your screen on the right hand side, I'm going to use that to brake down to actually 1st gear. So we're not braking from a quick speed here, so it's just a little 50% pressure on the brake pedal. Delay the gear shift down to 1st until you're almost at the curb. Back to 2nd again, take plenty of curb, back on the throttle nice and aggressive. Stay in 2nd gear through here. Next braking point I like to use, just as this red and white curbing is ending on the left hand side, use that as a braking point, braking marker. Again, we're not using full brakes, it's going to be about a 50% brake on the brake pressure. And we'll go down to 1st gear. So it's just a little 50% brake, aim for the middle of the circuit, down to 1st gear. Get the car turned, when you're comfortable, get back to 2nd gear again, get back on the throttle, take plenty of curb on the inside of that. Try and maximise this exit as well best you can. You can use more circuit than I do. Last corner, There's a bit of orange paint on the edge of that barrier. You can just see where the arrow is just there. I like to use that as a braking marker. Just before or just level with that, depending on what you feel comfortable with, I'm going to brake down to first gear. So again, we're not braking from a high speed, just a little 50% brake, down to first. Get the car rotated. When you feel comfortable, get back to second again and get on that throttle as early as you possibly can. Maximise this exit. There's so much time to be made on that last corner. And I want to say, guys, if you get any value out of this at all, as always, please do hit the like button and consider subscribing for more content like this. I really appreciate the support. Thank you very, very much. We're going to cross the line for a 1 minute 32.485, which is good enough for 1.55%. And at time of recording, a really unimpressive 206th in the world. Now guys, I talk a lot about braking in this video, and I've got an older video on braking. You may well have seen it. If you haven't, it might well be for you. Could help you. Click this video right here to find out more. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Take care. I will catch you on the next one. Cheers.